If you are determined to use your sexual energy for what is meant to be, this podcast will change your life. This will be one of those experiences, serendipity, synchronicities that you will look back in your life and you will say, damn, what was that? Since I heard that weird doctor, Derek Israel, oh my gosh, my life has been not the same. This will be one of those, my friend. Because your sex nature have a couple of purpose, but we can classify at least three major purposes of your sexual nature. One of those, obviously, reproduction and pleasure. The other one, sophisticated spiritual union, merging, or we can say salvation. And a third one, and this will be the one that we are going to be more focused in this podcast today, is for the direction, using your sexual energy for the direction, propulsion, movement of your success, achievement, happiness, or capacity of manifestation. This podcast is the last episode of a mini-series that is called Think and Grow Rich, based on this fabulous book by Napoleon Hill with the same name, Think and Grow Rich. You should definitely read this out. And sex transmutation is one of the final chapters of the book, but definitely one of the most important ones. So you don't need to watch the whole series to understand what we are going to be talking today. I will do a little bit of a overview, summary for your benefit in case you have missed the last 9 episodes. Nevertheless, if you find a lot of value, and you will, my friend, in this episode, I encourage you to go to my reproduction list down below and to watch the entire series. Take notes, because when it's about manifestation, you cannot leave that to luck. You cannot leave the manifestation of your riches, of your wealth, of your career, of your life purpose to luck, to the destiny, to the political atmosphere, to the economical scenario. You cannot leave it in other hands. You need to take this by your own. This is your ultimate responsibility. And today, I will teach you how to use your sexual energy to transform your deepest desires into your greatest materialized realities. Welcome to the episode 483 of the Mastermind Podcast Challenge. Season 2 with your host, Dr. Derek Israel. And I have been reading this book, Think and Grow Rich, like for 8 years now. And let me tell you something. I learned something new reading it to do this mini series. We always learn something new, but I learned something very profound, and I want to share it before continue on. And it's that Napoleon Hill says these books, these teachings, this wisdom about manifestation, all that we have been talking about during this mini series, this is a gradual understanding. This is something that you need time to cultivate in your personality, in your spirit. And it's something that it will take years to finalize. It will take years to realize, to materialize in your spirit. And every time that you go back to the book and you read again the principles, think about them, meditate upon them, you like achieve a greater degree of understanding, and you have a greater capacity of manifestation of riches, wealth, happiness, whatever is your deepest desire. So do not fall into the trap of thinking, oh, all right, Derek, so I read the book and I watched the miniseries and I'm ready to go, and that's it. This is the end of the journey, right? No, my friend. This is just the beginning. This is a lifelong companion, almost like the Bible. This is the Bible of personal development. If you are into the self help industry slash personal development, this is the Bible of our work. Obviously, we use other Bibles like the Bible or other spiritual religious works. I don't want to offend no one, but in this analogy of personal development as a lifestyle, this is our Bible. So you need to come back here to these principles every year. I recommend at least one time per year. You should go back to the book. Maybe you don't need to read it again totally, completely. That's why I recommend that you do notes on it. Like if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, you are seeing the book, and you can see that I have, for example, let me see, a lot of m- mini notes, mini notes in the pages. Although I highlight the important parts, but I always write in the side the central idea, because sometimes I just open the book and I read my own notes. I don't need to read again the entire paragraph. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. It depends. So that is a good strategy for you to continue moving forward with these principles for life. Another thing that I want to mention before starting officially the topic of today about sexual transmutation is that if you're listening to this only by audio, you will be missing the quotes directly from Napoleon Hill's mind. And I strongly recommend you to consider going to my YouTube channel, Derek Israel, and watching this through the video, because as you are seeing now in the video here below, I will be putting direct quotes about sexual transmutation. And I believe, and I don't believe, this is demonstrated scientifically. When you study the material by multiple sensorial uh, channels, like for example You are hearing me and you are watching me, but then you will be reading. So you are using other parts of your brain to process this information. You will integrate better the information. So if you are only listening to the audio, definitely you will benefit a lot. But if you want the maximum benefit, please watch the video, because in that way you will benefit from the direct quotes about sexual transmutation from Napoleon's Hill mind. So let's go and do a little overview about this whole system. And we're gonna do this twice today, so this is gonna be a long episode. Prepare your mind. This is the final episode. This is the final run. This is the final piece of our system. Everything starts with desire. Remember that your desire will determine your life. People that are indifferent are people that are conformist, and what they actually achieve, nothing. They are sustained by the government. They are sustained by the family. They live with their parents for their entire life. They do not manifest extraordinary life purpose. They do not embark in an extraordinary or miraculous creative project. They do not manifest riches because they lack the fire of desire. So everything in this system of manifestation start by desiring something, desiring being in a place that you are not yet there. And that is not the same of insatisfaction with the present moment in a egoic sense. You definitely should be grateful for your present moment, but that gratefulness should be balanced with a desire for better. That is the whole journey and proposal of the personal development industry. Because if you don't want to develop yourself, well, why the hell you're watching this, right? So after you cultivate your desire, you need to mix that with faith, the certainty, the conviction, the mindset necessary for you to trust your process, because you will find a lot of obstacles in the way of manifesting your desire. But with your faith, you are armed with an extraordinary and powerful weapon to penetrate those obstacles face on. And how you maintain that faith? That is a good question. Well, the next principle is autosuggestion, in which you use the power of your subconscious mind that have 99 of the power of your mind in order to continue pushing forward, automated like a machine. If you think all the way through in your manifestation journey, you lost, because your conscious mind is a monkey mind. Your conscious mind is weak, have a lot of bias, doubts, low self-esteem, so sometimes low self-efficacy sometimes. So you cannot count on only on that for manifesting. Yes, it's important, your conscious mind is important for logic, rationalization, and it's important for future planning and using all the capacity of your frontal lobe. But your subconscious mind, it is supra important. It is imperative. It is essential, because that is where the creative juices come, the innovative power come, the capacity for you to manipulate reality through the spiritual power and nature of your being come. And you do that by auto-suggesting yourself through visualization, through affirmations, and through subliminal messages that you put in audio. So a lot of techniques that I discussed in that episode. Then you need to understand that specialized knowledge, it is the next step. So you are almost hacked, right? You have faith, you have desire, and you are auto-suggested. But what if you don't understand shit about what are you gonna do? If you don't understand shit about what you're gonna do, you're lost, dude. So if in order to understand the mechanics of the specificity of the thing that you will do, you need to be able to download the codes of the knowledge, the distinctions of the specific knowledge that you need to implement in order to make this desire a materialize reality. So, for example, if your desire is about something that is related to technology, well, the specialized knowledge that you need may be, for example, coding, or maybe artificial intelligence, or maybe machine learning, or maybe GPU, computer stuff. So you need to become specific with your knowledge, not only general, like in philosophy, art, history, what is called the Renaissance man. The man of the Renaissance is that is a philosophy of that we should be very broad in our knowledge. We should be knowing a little bit about medicine. We should know a little bit about how to cultivate a garden, about Kama Sutra, sex, magic, business, fitness, nutrition, psychology, charisma, emotions. That is all general knowledge, and that is super important. And you should be cultivating those every day in your life. That's why you listen to podcasts like the Mastermind podcast that helps you most of the time to acquire general knowledge. But that general knowledge is insufficient if you lack the technicisms necessary to manifest in your specific drive. There's some things that you will not be able to do with philosophy and history and arts alone. You should be understanding the entire picture, and you should be understanding the different degrees of wisdom that it is required in order to manifest in your specific industry or desire. Then you should cultivate your imagination, because your imagination comes from your subconscious mind, right? And it is the link between what we can say the human realm and the spiritual realm. And we have synthetic imagination, that is the accumulation of all that you know, versus creative imagination, that is disrupting what you know for the things that you will invent. So it's more like an innovative imagination. Both are critical, but you should be aspiring to become more creative in your imagination. I teach you how to do it in that specific episode. Then you need to organize that imagination and that information, because if you are not organized, how the heck you expect to actually achieve? So you need to deliberately plan your way into riches, into wealth, into love, into life purpose, whatever you are looking, or a good combination of all of that. Um, so whatever your plans, uh, let me rephrase this. When you try to do a thing and the result it is not there, it is not what you expected, it is not because life is unfair, it's because your plans are not sound enough, are not good enough, are not effective enough. So you should be developing capacities and abilities and skills to be able to organize better, all right? To be a better commander of your own life. Then you have to take the decision, and that decision must be definitive, not partial, not I don't know, maybe yes, maybe no. No, that is for weak people. That is for people that will not strive in life. That is for people that will be sucking energy from others all their lives independency. Okay, that is not you. If you are here, you are striving. So you should decide quick and change your decisions slow. Okay, you need to become determined. That is basically the definition of determination, to become one or single minded in something. So after that, you should continue with persistence, persistence, perseverance, endurance, patience for years, for decades, for centuries. This is a long-term mindset. That's why I tell you guys, this is not a get rich quick scheme. You will like that this system of think and grow rich is a get rich quick scheme, but it is not. This is a system that is designed for being implemented in a time frame of maybe 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. Napoleon Hill did this work through 20 years of researching. And then when he finalized the book, if you read another of his works that I definitely recommend you to read, it is called Outwitting the Devil. Outwitting the Devil. That is a book that he published like 10 years after this one. And he told in that book that although he wrote this book, this system, these principles, he was not able to apply them perfectly in his life. Why was that? Well, man, this is difficult. This is basically the art of living, being persistent, being able to decide, being able to hack your mind every day, although all the adversity that you are facing, being able to cultivate faith, being able to transmute your sexual energy that is forever trying to express itself in material realms and through material mediums instead of more sophisticated ways. So this is the art of living. This is not a easy thing to do. So you should have a long-term mindset in this type of system. That's why you should continue reading this book and studying the principles and applying the principles forever in your life. And then so I want to make something clear. Although I have a specific order in these principles, I am basically following the same order in which Napoleon Hill presented the principles. This is not one, then the other, then the other. This is not a linear kind of orderly sequence. Yes, I think that the first one is desire. That is like a base. But the other ones, you can start by desire and then jump to the mastermind and then jump to the sex transmutation. And although they are not in a specific order, they are all together. So it's not like, okay, today I will transmute my sexual energy and tomorrow I will have faith. It's not like that. You should be transmuting your sexual energy while having faith, while being persistent, while deciding definitely, while cultivating your mastermind, while deciding, while cultivating your desire. It's all synergistically combined. And while you are synergistically combining this every day through the years, something happened to your personality. This kind of philosophy penetrate deeply in your heart, in your soul, and then you start to materialize with more accuracy and effectiveness your desires in reality. So the mastermind principle is the one that I discussed in the last episode. Is basically surrounding yourself with other brains that can synergize your effort, that can help you, that can inspire you, that can give you specific power. And power, it is defined here as organized wisdom, knowledge, and intelligence directed to a definite purpose. So, and now we are finishing this system with the power of sexual transmutation and a little bit of the sixth sense. I will, that is another chapter of the book. I will discuss one or 2 points about the sixth sense in this episode and a little bit of the subconscious mind. That is another chapter that he has in the book that is different from the auto suggestion, but it's this auto suggestion is more like the technique of hacking your subconscious mind, but then he explained a little bit more like the infrastructure of the subconscious mind. And I will speak about it a little bit here, but definitely, if you want all the details, you should definitely read the book, listen to it in YouTube. You can find it for free in English, Spanish, almost any language. You can buy it on Amazon. Definitely buy it. I have it on PDF. I have it digital. I have it in my phone. I have it physical for the last 8 years, and it has worked miracles. Not only for me. If you study a lot of successful people, this is one of the books that they always read. And if you research successful people and research their favorite books, most of the time I have found that Think and Grow Rich is in their top 10. So not always top one, but not everyone is the same, but at least top 10. All right, so now we will start. So I hope that you can value and see the powerfulness of this system now that I gave you that summary. So, what is to transmute? Let's start by talking a little bit about transmutation, because this episode is called sex transmutation. But what is to transmute? To to transform something? Well, I already told you, it's to transform. It is to change. It is to take one type of energy and to change it, to modify it to another kind or type of energy. But remember, there's only one type of energy. Everything in life is a reflection of the same energy. We can call that infinite energy. We can call that God. We can call that substance, substratum. We can call that the cosmic field, consciousness, kundalini. We can call that whatever you want to call it. But at the, you know, is as Newton said, energy doesn't, is not created, neither destroyed, it's only transformed. So everything that you see in life, my words, the images that you see in your mind through my words, uh, the pixels in your screen, the computer or the cell phone, on the clothes that you have, and the emotions that you feel, and the dreams you have last night, all of those experiences, they seem to be like quite different, like with different substances. Like you don't perceive like your cell phone to be the that substance as the dream you have last night, but they have the same substance. If you go and you zoom all the way into the atom of that cell phone, you will find exactly the same kind of substance, um, abstract, unified, non-localized kind of feel that you will find if you zoom all the way through your own dreams. It is the same. It feels different because we are like in a kind of a different dimension. We are in a third dimension, physical dimension, but that doesn't mean that it's a different energy. It's just a different nouns, nuances, nuances. That is a word that I was practicing yesterday because it's my primary language is Spanish, and that is a word that I use a lot in Spanish. Another synonym is shade. It's another shade of the energy, but it's the same. It's like energy is a spectrum, but the whole spectrum is the same, but through the spectrum, it is perceived and feel differently. So it's only one type of energy. So you are not changing one energy into another. Basically, what you are changing is how that energy is manifested. That is the power of transmutation. So you can visualize this or perceive this as you are changing the frequency of the vibration of the thing. So if something is vibrating very, very slow, it is more material. Like the cell phone, it is vibrating slower. All the atoms that are here are vibrating slower than my thoughts, for example, because my thoughts are immaterial. They are more like, uh how can I say this? They are more like consciousness light. They are more like abstract light. They are more light in their density, in their physicality. We can measure thoughts by measuring, for example, the chemistry and the metabolism of your neural system, but you cannot look at the thought. You cannot grab a thought. So the thought is more immaterial, although it is the same energy of my cell phone. So, and by the way, that is also the practice of magic. The practice of magic is transmuting one type of energy into another. And anyways, I was about to tell you a lot about magic, but I will not. I will stay in the subject. So I was about to give you another example about what is exactly to transmute. Yes, basically is to take one type of vibration and make it another type of vibration. That is the power of transmutation. In the case of sexual energy, is taking the high frequency of your sexual energy that is more subtle and putting that into more slow type of sexual energy in order to materialize more solidly with more physicality your desire. Notice your desire is more subtle. Your desire, it is more vibrant. It is vibrating with more speed. But when you materialize that desire, for example, you desire $1 million. That desire is going very, very quick, very, very rapidly in the vibrational state. But as soon as that is $1 million reflected in your bank account, you transmuted that vibration into an external reality that is tangible and that it is on the world of cause and effect. That is the power of transmutation. It is taking your desires into life, into material life. Okay. So let's define a little bit what we mean by sex. Well, sex, it is the urge to act. It is the urge to act and reproduce, to live, and to propagate life. That is basically what sex is. So when we are talking about transmutation of sex, we are talking about changing and transforming the energy that is always striving for reproduction, for pleasure, for having sex, is transforming that into a mechanism for transforming your desire for other things that are not sex into their material equivalent. So you are using that motion that you feel when you are really horny or when you are very aware of your sexual energy. You don't need to be horny. Remember, horny is when I recommend that you should study the subtlety of the sexual energy by studying alchemy, sexual Taoism, sexual Kung Fu, Kama Sutra, Tantra, and all of those science of sex. You will be better in materializing if you understand those sciences, but I cannot go there because we're gonna spend a whole day talking about this. But I lost my point. Where was I? So it's taking the drive that you've okay, so no, yeah. So horny is whenever that energy it is hot, but it's not always hot. Sometimes sexual energy it is cold, and that means that is more yin. It is more feminine. That means that it's not looking for ways to be expressed in an orgasm. When you are horny, what that means is that you are desperate. You have like a you are uncomfortable in your own sexual energy and you want to express it through orgasm. But not every time you will transmute your energy while you are horny. Sometimes you are not horny, you are normal, although you continue to transmute your sexual energy, because your sexual energy it is your aliveness. Sex is the act of having sex, of trying to reproduce, the act of penetration, oral sex, anal sex, even other digital type of sex that are uh, manifesting themselves in this new age and technology. But sexual energy it is basically the drive for sex. It is the movement. It is the thing that you feel in your body every time that you breathe right now very deeply. You can feel your sexual energy in your whole body. It feels like aliveness. It is the thing that makes you alive. It is the libido. Psychologists has been debating this for the whole uh, basically career of the industry in psychology, in which we have been saying to the world that sexual energy is not only the thing that make us biologically alive, but also emotionally alive, and also imaginative alive, and also creatively alive, and also psychologically alive. So this is something that will permeate your dreams, permeate your visions, your imagination, your creativity, your communication, everything. Also your social mechanisms. If you study the research and theories about the sexual market, you will understand that most what we do socially it is based on a sexual desire or sexual proposal. So this permeate everything: politics, economics. This permeates technology, arts, culture, religion. Sex is everything. Sex is basically the germ of your existence. How the hell you came to be? Well, you came to be through two cells that are meiotic. I don't know if that is the right word. That are based on meiosis, no mitosis only, and that basically means that are sex kind of cells, sex based kind of cells. So you are the combination of a good sperm and oval. But maybe I am anticipating, because in the future we want to be combinations of different things, sperm with sperm, maybe oval with oval. So maybe I don't know if this will apply when you are seeing this, maybe in the 2050 or 2100, I don't know. But in general, you are supposed to be a sex entity. In general, if you're a human being normally reproduced by sexual mediums, normally in the context of 2022. This is something that I am struggling with lately in my podcast, because I am anticipating a lot in the future. I am understanding that this content will be more appreciated in the next 30 years. So that's why when I launch my Derek Israel NFT collection about my content, you should be investing in my collection, because if you believe that this is good now, wait until 15 years, 20 years has passed, and I am in that a new level, and people are discovering me and watching these old episodes. They will find more value then, because this is so classic, this is so evergreen. And I know that sometimes I tell things that are more based on the context of now instead of the context of forever. So that's why I struggle sometimes with things that seems to be obvious now, but I'm not thinking it now. I'm thinking in a larger scale. That is a trait that your imagination will give you when you have definite plans of manifesting a long-term life purpose. So if you're not thinking of like this in your own, way, uh you should definitely strive for doing something similar. So this is the art of sex transmutation, transmuting your sexual energy into more sophisticated things that are not only having sex. Okay, your sexual energy wants to have sex, but that is the primal, and that is good. Have sex, dude, but understand that you can take that energy that wants to be expressed in the sexual act, and you can pervert it, you can modify it, you can move that energy and channel it to manifesting the desire that you had in the first place. This is the real art of the sexual transmutation. And this will be combined, obviously, with persistence, with faith, with decision, with power of will. This will demand one of the most powerful power of wills of all your life. Most people will not do this. Most people will want to have sex normally, although there's nothing normal about how people is having sex right now. This is just how the culture has normalized it. But if we study ancient practices, we know that we are not normal in our promiscuity, in our always ejaculating, in the sex act, and stuff like that. So the normal sex, it is the transmuted sex. That is the normal. But now we are living in a culture that the, sadly it is perverted. Anyways, so something very important that you need to understand. Highly successful people mostly have high sex drive or high sex nature. I want to ask you, and I want you to meditate a little bit about this. How high it is your sex nature, your sex energy? Are you a really kind of high sexual individual or nah? And you know that by how often do you are looking for sex. And maybe you are a person that you are not looking socially for sex, but how often you masturbate, how often you feel horny, how often you feel that your experience, your consciousness, it is sexualized. This is a very good question, because in proportion to that will be your potency of manifestation. So if you have a very kind of low libido, low sexual energy, and you have been always like that, it doesn't mean that you will not be able to manifest. You can manifest, and some people do it through other means, mostly through a lot of discipline, a lot of studying, a lot of uh, routines, habits, and they do it. They can manifest more mechanically. But if you want to be like a magician and to manifest matter with energy, not matter with matter. Notice people that are very mechanic in their drive, mostly manifesting through habits, routines, actions, they are manifesting matter through matter. And nothing bad with that, but that is a slow process. I want you to start manifesting matter with energy, matter with consciousness, matter with spirit. And definitely you need to act, and definitely you need to, in one sense, manifest matter with matter. You need to push, manipulate matter, but that is the final doses of the equation. The 80% of the work, it is done in spirit with the sexual energy potency and capacity. So if you're a low libido kind of person, and libido means sexual energy, you should be researching how you can become more high sexualized, in the sense that you are more magnetic in your sexual drive, more into your sexual drive. And sometimes the low libido may be caused by a couple of things, different things. For example, depression, anxiety, addiction, narcotics, cigarettes, bad food, processed food, alcohol, trauma. Um, what more? What else? Negative attitude towards sex, moral, um, like a morality that is very punitive with sex. So if you have maybe stuff like that, and you may have one of those or two. Oh, also, I bad mind. This is a phrase in Spanish. I don't know if it makes sense in English. In Spanish, is mala mía, bad mind, my mistake. That is the expression, my mistake. And the most important one that you should be considering is your hormonal levels. Definitely, your hormonal levels will impact your sex drive. So if you're a man, you should be definitely checking your testosterone and estrogen balance, and if you're a woman, the same. But you should be taking action. If you need to go to treatment, maybe a psychological treatment, maybe a hormonal treatment, maybe a biological treatment, maybe this and that, you should be taking action to cultivate a more potent sexual energy. I have been obsessed with this since I was a kid. Yeah, I was a weird kid. But I remember when I was adolescent, I used to tell my mother that I want to drink or to consume zinc supplement, a supplement based on zinc, because as I told you before in my podcast, I used to have this weird obsession of how sexual energy, since I was maybe I was like 13, 14, 15 years old, and I was researching like mad. The spermatogenesis, how sperm was formed, how can we optimize sperm, how we can optimize sexual energy. And I don't know why I was so into this, but I was really into it. And just give me a break. And so I was very into it, and I was already drinking zinc when I was like 15 years old. And today I'm still doing it because zinc is one of the most important aspects of a healthy sperm development. So I know that if my sperm is more healthy, my capacity of manifestation, not only with babies, although I have the best baby in the world, my daughter, she's proof she's proof with her intelligence, with her beauty, with her creativeness, with her drive. She's proof that obviously good sperm and good oval with let me see, is oval the word? Let me see. Give me just a second. No, I'm saying I'm saying it's ovary. Why I'm saying oval? Anyways, what is oval? Well, guys, you need to have patience with me. I'm translating in my mind all the podcasts. What is oval? Oh, oval is that is. Oh man, I was. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, the ovary. Sorry, guys. The ovary. Yeah, just she's the combination of a good sperm and ovary, but no, it's not ovary. It's ovary. I'm now confused. Give Oh, it's egg. That is exactly how in English it is called. Sorry, guys. Egg. What a what a what a weird way to say it. Egg. All right. So yes, the egg. Yes, it's the combination of a good sperm and egg. But yeah, you understand the critical point here. So you should be trying to develop a better sexual energy, sexual drive in order to manifest better. So if you're already a high sexual kind of person, well, transmute that into your desire. Okay, transmute that into your desire. So how do you transmute your sexual energy into mechanics of achievement? Well, this is a complicated question, and you as an individual will come to terms with how you will do this. But in my case, for example, I what I do is if I feel really horny, for example, one day, instead of going and having sex and ejaculating, I go and write the book that I'm working on, or I go and I do a podcast, and I try to use that energy and I put it in the creative project. I literally do this every time. So many people say, Derek, how the hell you have 483 episodes? Well, I have been transmuting my sexual energy through this whole podcast. When I did the Mastermind Podcast Challenge season one, I was cultivating my sexual energy through the whole podcast, through the whole year. So I didn't ejaculate through a whole year. And I did have sex, but I didn't permit to ejaculate, because when you ejaculate is when you deplete your energy. So I was transmuting that into the podcast, transmuting that into the podcast. And this is something about also your mind. Your mind needs to be stimulated, and in order to create great things. And you can use a lot of things to stimulate your mind. For example, you can use drugs. That's why drugs are so, not only so popular, but also necessary and also has been historically a friend of the human species, another species. So a lot of people have a negative stigma about drugs. Drugs are not bad. Drugs are bad depending how you use them. um, So, for example, a good cup of coffee can stimulate your mind in the morning. And if you maintain that coffee under control, like you maybe take 1, 2 cups per week, not something that you need every day, but something that you do sometimes, that is not bad. That is something that you can use for your own benefit and to stimulate your mind. Also with cannabis, also with psychedelic drugs, also with cocaine. That is kind of a weird drug that I haven't researched. I know obviously that stimulates the mind, but I don't know if you can have like a definite benefit without the cost being higher than the opportunity. So cocaine is kind of weird. I don't dare to say that it's beneficial. Maybe. And I know that Sigmund Freud studied a lot about cocaine, the benefits of cocaine, but then he realized, damn, it's so addictive that I don't know exactly if this is good or not. So, but a lot of drugs are good and beneficial with the right balance. So also music is a good mind stimulant. Love, enthusiasm, gratitude, exercise, um, affirmations, visualizations, um, thinking about your kids and their future. That is one of the most crazy stimulant of your mind. But also sex. So whenever you are approaching a project, approach the project with the sex mind, with your mind infected, contaminated with the sex drive. But instead of physically doing the act, you will mechanically act the action, you know, that is necessary for the manifestation of your desire. You see, I have been doing this for my whole life, and it takes a little bit of practice, but you will feel, especially it will be like magic when you feel your sexual energy. You are doing a task that is mechanically directed to manifest your desire, and then your sexual energy, it is involved, and you are feeling it, and then that sexual energy becomes transmuted into creativity, and then you combine that with love, and then that illuminates the present moment. Basically, that is a fusion with God. that is a fusion, divine fusion with God. And it's one of the most wonderful, beautiful experience that you can reach in your life. So the step by step of how to do it is difficult for me to say and for anyone, because you need to find your own mechanisms of how you will transmit. For example, a way that I also do it is by breathing, by doing testicular breathing or egg breathing. No, this will be ovary breathing for women. Just look for about that on Google. Ovary breathing. You can basically breathe in the inhale. You breathe your sexual energy upwards, and then you exhale and it goes back down to the primal stages of your body, to the primal parts, to your testicle or your vagina, whatever. And that cycle of breathing your sexual energy, notice you are not only breathing oxygen, you are not only transferring air through your body, you are intentionally and with the subtlety of your consciousness impregnated in the sexual energy. You are transferring sexual energy in a very positive cycle through your breathing. And if you contract the PC muscle, you can look for Kegel exercises, on Google, or PC muscle exercises. If you contract those, also in yoga, that is called Mula Bandha in yoga. If you do that, and also in Kundalini yoga, they teach you how to do it. So please Google and YouTube Kundalini yoga. This will help you to transmute your energies, your sexual energy like nothing else. Kundalini yoga. You do that, you will basically be transforming like a vortex your sexual energy. So with breathing, I do it. With planning, I do it. With action, I do it. And with visualization, also, I do it. For example, if I am doing sex, if I am acting the sex act, or if I am masturbating, whatever, I will visualize the desire materialize. I will visualize that is already something that is happening. And in that way, I am transmuting my sexual energy not only into an orgasm, but into a visual image that is omnipresent in my consciousness, drawing neural connections, drawing to itself emotions, affect, resources, things that then I will do or act or strive in output in order to materialize that in the physical world. So do your own research on how to transmute, but more than your own research, practice different things, and you will understand what works best for you. And the reason that orgasm in the case of men, it is a little bit bad for transmuting is because you lose the energy to do this while you have the orgasm. Sorry, not the orgasm necessarily, but the ejaculation. In the woman is different, but I have discussed this in my sexual mastery course a lot. Only available on Spanish for now, but very soon on English. So check derekisrael.com to see if you have I have already the English version. But yeah, different sex, and not genders, but sex, like woman versus men, have different uh, mm, strategies of how to transmute. So let's continue. So it's very important for you to combine, and this is one of the most critical ideas about today's podcast. It is important for you, imperative, I will say, essential, to combine the sexual energy with pure love to attain the levels of, or I will say, to attain meta levels of greatness. Meta means beyond. So, for example, the metaverse means beyond the universe, right? So, this is the thing. The most powerful way that you can transmute the sexual energy is into love. That's why if you combine love and sex, you have greatness in any relationship. But when we are talking about manifesting your life purpose, manifesting riches, manifesting wealth, if you can combine those, we can say emotions or consciousness shades or nuances or consciousness um, segments or experiences or phenomenologies, if you combine those in your everyday life, if you operate through sexual energy, not directed to sex, but directed to your desire, with love, that is basically the striving for union, the striving for coming back to our primal state of oneness, that is love, dude, you will be unstoppable. That is exactly what Gandhi did. He transmuted his sexual energy into love. For example, if you read the biography of Gandhi, I was reading back a couple of days, not a couple of days, a couple of months uh, ago, and basically one day he was a very sex nature man. As I was telling you, he has a lot of sex drive, and one day he told his wife, "Baby, we are not gonna copulate anymore. We are not gonna have sex anymore." And she was like, "Why?" "Because I will transmute. I will use this. This is distracting me of my purpose. This is distracting me of my vision. If I want to liberate India, I need to go all in and concentrate all my forces, all my power in this direction." And she was understanding with him, and she was uh, supportive with him, and she said yes. And then he didn't have sex with her anymore, and he became one of the most powerful men in history. Some people consider Gandhi the most powerful man in his time, based on how many people were able and open to follow his instructions, even when he was so passive in his leadership. That is power, man. That is power. And so he did it. He did it with love. He did it with the love of the ideal of his life purpose. So you should be striving to love better. So I will give you a quick technique of how you can transmute your sexual energy into love energy, and it's a very simple mantra. Mantra means the instrument of the mind. Okay, that is basically the etymology of a mantra. And I do this mantra sound while I'm having sex or while masturbating, and this basically change the sexual, like, kind of raw energy and put it in my heart, and through my heart, in the vortex of my heart, in the spiritual center of my heart, that is perennially, eternally, infinitely transforming the consciousness or the energy, transmuting it, it transmuted to love. So while I am having sex, I always do this mantra. It is YAM. YAM. It's gonna be yum. Right? That is the mantra that cultivates your chakra of the heart. So I put it in my screen below here. If you're watching the video, it's jam. The emphasis is on the M, but it's very, very important that you say the J and the Y and the A. Very, very. How gonna say, specific with a lot of accuracy. Yum. Do it. If you do that at the same time while masturbating or having sex, you will notice that you will be able to love a lot of with a lot of potency, with a lot of power, and that is a very good technique. All right. So combine sex with love, those emotions, and you will strive for greatness like never before. We can call that meta greatness. So you should color all your thoughts, plans, and definitive actions with the sex love combination, okay, or connection. So what I mean by color is that you should fuse everything that you do with this technique, because this is the way you hack your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind, it is hacked by emotion. If you only think, you don't hack uh, the infrastructure of your subconscious mind. So while you do this by coloring your actions, your plan, your desire, everything that you think during the day, you create like a positive manifestation cycle in which you are manifesting externally your desire, you are materializing, but at the same time you are materializing, you are changing your subconscious mind to think that you are capable of, that you are deserving that in your life. So you will propose and you will basically generate more positive momentum. We can call that an achievement momentum forward through your whole life. And through the decades that you practice this, you will become more lethal and more effective in materializing, because your subconscious mind start to change his morphology, structure, through the results that you are already having by acting, planning, and materializing, combined with these omnipresent emotions of sex in your consciousness and love all the time as the driving force of it. So I'm asking you, do not do actions without this kind of vibration in your heart and in your sacral chakra and your sexual chakra. For now on, dude, for now on, vibrate in this capacity and you will be a crazy manifestator. So another important thing that you should be doing is allowing your sex love consciousness, we can call it that way, right? To awake your sixth sense into riches, wealth, and happiness. What is your sixth sense? That is your third eye. That is your intuition. If you are going to manifest wealth, happiness through your whole life by using this system, you should be trusting your intuition like nothing else in life. I will repeat this. You should be trusting your intuition like nothing else in life, because your intuition is like a bridge between infinite intelligence and your limited human intelligence. So she knows better than you. You will not know better. You can That's why you will doubt it. That's why your reasoning will say, oh, I don't know, because this doesn't make any sense, this doesn't fit the numbers, blah 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 blah. Don't hear that. Well, I don't mean that you don't need to hear it, but understand that your intuition have a divine point when she's talking to you. So by cultivating this kind of sexual love transmuting practice in your life, this energy will not get stuck in your genitals and will go upwards and will energize all of the chakras. And then when it illuminates your third eye and your crown chakra, that is basically the receptionist of intuition, of the universal intelligence, you will shoot light through your intuition, and you need to trust, dude, because if you don't trust, every time that you don't trust your gut, Every time that you don't trust your intuition, you are blocking your third chakra. And then you say, "Oh my gosh, why I don't see anything while I am meditating? Why I don't have visions? Why I don't have psychic powers? Why I don't have this? Why I don't have that?" Well, dude, if you don't trust your intuition, you are blocking your chakra. These two chakras open themselves when you open yourself to them in trust. And you say, "You know what? This maybe doesn't make any sense, but my intuition is saying to me this, to pursue this desire in this way, with this strategy, with this action, with this mastermind, with this faith, with this type of decision." Follow that. Follow that with more sexual energy and with more love. Follow that definitely, not partially, totally, totally. And you will have a lot of awards by doing this. So, this is basically the system. Notice how powerful this stuff is. I didn't do 10 episodes, 10 days of my life, 10 days of your life, 1 hour and a half approximately per episode for nothing. Almost 20 hours, almost 1 day of our life for nothing. You can manifest whatever you want in life, but you need the right principles. You need the right framework. Is this a perfect framework? No. There's other frameworks that you should use? Yeah, definitely. For example, if you understand Spanish, you should check the 4 elements, los cuatro elementos miniseries. That is another framework. Maybe one day I will translate that into English. You can do the spiral dynamics framework. You can do magical frameworks based on magic. Every coach will give you a different framework. Neither is perfect. All are models, and models are not the territory. But our hope is that some of these ideas will resonate with our hearts and we will become more effective in our manifestation thanks to this. So now you have a great responsibility. If you listen to all of this and you don't go hard into manifesting the life of your dreams, shame on you, dude. You are falling into the trap of the personal development. And that is that we think that by listening to podcasts and learning and reading and understanding the principles that we are making advancement. Yes and no. Yes, we are learning, but it's more important implementing. You should take this whole system and organize a definite plan into your life purpose. If you know Spanish, go to my life purpose course at derekisrael.com very soon in English. So go to see if we already have the English version. You should understand your life purpose and you should desire that. And then you should cultivate faith. And then you should do techniques every day for auto suggestion every day, every day, every day. And then you should study the specificities of your industry in order to manifest that. And then you should imagine how I will do it. And then, bam, decide with persistence. And surround yourself with the right books, podcasts, people, masterminds. And finally, transmute all of your core, all of your sexual energy and love into materializing this finally, forever. Think and grow rich. Thank you for being with me in this journey. For me, it was an awesome series. I have been thinking about doing this for a couple of years now and realizing it was awesome. I had the opportunity to read again with profound, more profoundly the book. Now I understand better the system because I don't only read it, but I teach it. And what you teach, you double learn. So remember that reading the book is a must for you. Do it yearly, every year of the rest of your life. Come back to this mini series wherever you want. It will be available if God permits that. Um, Go watch your favorite episode of this mini series again. We always miss something. I am like a machine gun of ideas. Sometimes you will miss critical points because you are so bombarded. So go back to the episodes that you think that you should understand better. And if you are doing the Mastermind Podcast Challenge, so okay, so also I will encourage you to go to the reproduction list if you find it valuable and watch the entire system, because in each element of the system I will give you a lot of stories, personal references, and examples of how this system really work in his individual parts. um, Watch it, share it with a friend, please. This is very important. Remember that life works with reciprocity, and I'm giving you this by free. So I only ask, obviously, that check derekisrael.com. And if you want to buy one of my solutions, my products, my technologies, my services, that will be awesome, because I will transform your life like no one before. But besides that, share it. That doesn't take mostly no time, and it's free. You can share it in your social media, you can share it in chats, or you can just call a friend and say, dude, this mini series is crazy. Look at this guy. Oh my gotcha. And you can transform another life. So if you're doing the Mastermind Podcast Challenge season 2 with me, every day, Monday through Friday, one episode for 1 year, um, I need to tell you that for the next 2 weeks, we are going to embark in a new experiment that I have been promising you guys for a long time. And this new experiment will be the Mastermind Shortcast. So what that means is that I have been listening a lot of shortcuts lately. That those are like mini podcasts that last like 5 to 15 minutes only, and they are combined with music and with sounds, and the ideas are more quick, and it's a different experience. I have never done this before, so I will do my first this weekend. And today's Friday. Okay. Yeah. So I will do the first this weekend, and I don't know how that will work, but I can tell you this. I will use this system of manifestation to manifest a better shortcast in my journey. So Tuesday will be better, Wednesday will be better, and we are gonna do this uh through 2 weeks in a row. And then I will implement that. If you find it valuable, I don't know what will be the results of the experiment, but my determination is that I will implement that as a part of the proposal of the Mastermind podcast, and I will have different kind of proposals or segments or programs in the podcast. For example, the archetypes that I discuss here, like for example, the lover, the warrior, the king, the fool, the wise man, the wise woman, the god, the goddess, all the archetypes that I will be discussing in the future. So the spiritual animals that soon we're gonna have. We're gonna be doing the bull and the pig. I think that those are the next ones. Also, we're gonna have the shortcuts, and also then I will implement another experiments that I want to do. So I want to give more variety to the podcast. I'm giving the variety of the language now, translating to English. And so, yeah, that is basically, I am acting the philosophy that I'm teaching you guys, reinventing my projects, reinventing myself all the time, because this is how we do it. This is the personal development journey. So, another thing that I want to say is that, what was that? Hmm. That I will be also doing the music of the shortcast. So everything that you will hear on the shortcast, it is made homemade. I'm very excited about that because I experimented a lot with sonic technology, as I already told you guys before, during the last year, and I learned how to produce music. And so that is something that I will be implementing more and more in my brand and in the metaverse. So Derek Israel music will be a thing soon enough. I don't know when, but that is something that I'm working. And so now is the first time that I will be doing not singing nor lyrics, nothing like that, but just the sounds and experimenting with different music and to see if you like it. So my aim is that maybe one time per week in the future, when the Mastermind podcast season 2 is over and I have time to see the big picture and to do every day something different without having a strict challenge. Maybe one time per week, I will do the shortcast with the music and stuff, and another stuff that I have on mind. So, yeah, I'm having fun with the podcast, definitely. Also, I will have fun with you guys in Telegram. If you are doing this consistently, download the Telegram app, because I think that next week, probably Monday, probably Monday, I will be opening the link for for the Telegram group of the Mastermind Podcast uh, Challenge Season 2. So be aware and alert for that. I want you to your participation. Uh, I want your feedback, and also I will be posting their exclusive content. Okay. Also, I will be posting more exclusive content in my Patreon support program, that you will be able to support this project uh, only with $5 per week. Sorry, for per month, more cheap, and or maybe $10 per month, or 20 if you have the economic capacity. Um, so that is something that I will be also implementing, I think, next week. So a lot of new things are coming, and I hope that I am inspiring you to create something for you. Because if you are doing the whole challenge without a creative project that you actually are directing this energy and ideas, you are losing your time. You are just masturbating mentally. You are just fixed with Derek Israel. You are in love with the image of Derek Israel, and you are basically committing the same mistake that religious dogmatic people do. They idolatrate, or they put in a pedestal Jesus, but they don't become Jesus. They put in a pedestal the Buddha, but they don't become the Buddha. And that is not the path that I want you to walk. That is not the thing that I have been teaching you. I am just a normal human being in an extraordinary journey, trying to inspire you to do the same in your own epic narrative, in your own epic journey. And I hope that I can give you some tools that I find that is serving me in my journey to use in yours. And some of them will work for you, some will not work for you, but the process is that you are open enough to hear this, to work with me, and to buy my things, my products, my program, my courses, my books, because those are the most important parts, because there I put most of my effort to do something remarkable, because obviously those things cost money. So here by free I do my best, but it's not never will be the same as, for example, a course of mine. So if you are interested in this sex transmutation subject, go check Sexual Mastery course. Make sure that it's in the right language for you, and I see you there. Thank you.